So what exactly is in these CBD products? Mehmet and I met up at a lab here in Los Angeles a few weeks ago because we wanted to find out. Take a look.
Our teams managed to obtain some vials of CBD being sold by several different companies claiming to have our endorsement. We send them to Dr. Pedram Salimpour to be tested at a lab.
We want to know exactly what is in this alleged CBD. It's time to get to the bottom of this. Dr. Salimpour, how are you?
How are you? Thank you
Good.
very much for coming. Can I show you around?
We'll follow you.
Fantastic.
Quite a large operation.
Thank you. So this is where the testing is done for THC, CBD, all of the cannabinoids, all of the pesticides. There's 66 of them that we test for, and all of the heavy metals. What's really important to remember is that CBD is regulated by the FDA for only one drug, Epidiolex, and that's for 2 rare childhood seizure disorders. For everything else, it's the wild, wild west.
So you test these things here that aren't regulated, and you're looking for what over here?
So over here, we're looking for heavy metals,
Right.
cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, pesticides.
And those things show up in a lot of the CBD products that come through here.
Unfortunately, they do. Because remember, hemp is a bioaccumulator. So whatever is in the ground gets sucked up into that plant. If there's lead in the ground, it's going to get sucked up into the plant. And whatever gets sucked up into the plant is going to end up in the final product unless it's intentionally taken out.
What have you found in general?
We have found pesticides in general. We have found heavy metals. We have found mycotoxins. Aspergillus causes aspergilloma in patients that are immune compromised. That can wreak havoc.
Some of the people that are seeking this out are already immune compromised. Then they're especially vulnerable to the heavy metals, the pesticides.
In particular to the fungus that you just mentioned, because it grows like these big mothballs in your lungs, takes over your breathing ability. It can kill you. It can burrow its way into arteries. I mean, it's a horrible death. I had no idea you were finding those kinds of elements as well. It's just sloppy. They're not bothering because they don't care about the people. They're just a checkbook. They're a credit card.
Yeah, they just want their money. They don't care about the consequences. And when if a consequence arises, they're gone. I mean, they're like trying to sack fog. You can't find them, they just poof.
Remember, testing for this stuff isn't cheap. One of these things costs $500,000. This is the same kind of equipment that tests baby formula. So what you're describing costs money, and there's a financial incentive, if you don't have to not do it.
And then they're using our names to validate it, fraudulently.
It doesn't cost them anything to steal our names. They don't have to pay you money to test it appropriately. It's cash, 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 which is all they're seeing, dollar signs, when they're talking to people that ask us for advice.
Yeah, well, when you skip steps and steal names, it's easy. It's all profit.
That's right.
So is there actually CBD at the level that's supposed to be in these products?
There often is not as much CBD as they purport to put in there because CBD can be very expensive. It can cost close to $10,000 a pound for the CBD.
Oh.
So you can imagine there's a pretty significant economic disincentive not to put CBD in the product if you don't have to and no one's going to check.
Could you take us through the actual products that we sent you?
Absolutely, sure. So we tested a product that came to us from someone that was purporting to have you be their spokesperson, but the test that we did on this failed. It failed because it is not safe for human consumption under any circumstance. It failed because it was too high in its lead content.
In lead?
In lead, 15 times higher than safe levels, 500 times higher than our level of detection.
Oh, okay, 15 times higher than safe. So this isn't a close call. This is highly toxic.
Highly toxic and very dangerous because lead accumulates, and again, because nobody takes just one of these pills or one droplet. This is stuff that people use continuously.
It's interesting that one of the products that we brought here that tested positive for lead 15 times above acceptable level is called verified.
Yes.
Like verified, like we've checked this.
Well,
They
we now
haven't
did
checked it.
verify.
Yeah. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.